As before, the first two fights were kinda useless. Letty was defending Winter 3 months late, and Chen didn't really have an idea of what was going on. That's gonna be a standard for a lot of the Touhou games. Stage 3 introduces us to the Forest of Magic, a rather simply titled setting that reminds us all that you don't always have to look like a forest to be called a forest, and mid-boss already.
Hi, my name is Alice. I'll be your tour guide for the Forest of Magic. No photography allowed. I'll have to ask security to assist me in beating you senseless with these shiny, sparkly bullets of mine.
Now, despite this simple title, the Forest of Magic is a severely dangerous place, probably the most dangerous overall for humans in Gensokyo, fraught with magical mushrooms, carnivorous plants, and yokai that would like nothing more than a light snack. And yet, Marisa's house, the house of a human, is smack dab in the middle of it. How's that for logic? Alrighty, so I was talking about the cherry system back in stage 1, let me get back to that. Cherry Plus is the number above your cherry, and that increases along with it. The only difference is that once Cherry Plus hits 50,000, you trigger something called a supernatural border. Now this border lasts for quite a little bit, and during it you can either take one free hit, or use one free bomb quote-unquote, to clear the screen of bullets. If you do nothing and let the border run out on its own, you get a border bonus of however much cherry you have at that point times 10, and 10,000 points added to your cherry max. Now cherry max is the number next to your cherry, and that's the maximum amount of cherry you can hold at that time. You can increase this by collecting border bonuses, or you can graze during a supernatural border. You get 30 points for each focused graze, but 80 for each unfocused graze. You can already sort of tell this is a system set up around the adage, high risk, high reward, like shooters tend to be. So Alice is going to confront us for the third time now, and it's like we're dancing this dance of death. With a girl of death. Death seems to be a recurring element in this game. Anyway, Alice is a magician. This may be a little confusing, because as far back as I can remember, magician was also an occupation among humans. It turns out that here, magician is its own race, as opposed to humans that are familiar with magic through trade and research, like Marisa. Perfect Memento describes them as either 1, being born as magicians, or 2, humans that learn a special type of magic that stops their aging and they become magicians that way. For Alice, it's the latter, having been confirmed as the same Alice from Mystic Square. For someone like Patchouli Knowledge, however, it would be the former, considering she's lived well past the age expectancy of a normal human, and just about everything she has to do with involves magic in some way. However, this video is not about Patchouli, it is about Alice, and as such, we shall talk about Alice. Her story begins back when she showed up in Makai, the world of demons, and confronted Reimu about trying to go any further in, because, you know, Reimu's human and all, but she quickly dispatches Alice anyway and moves on. Later on, the latter comes across a magic item called a Grimoire, and that's the book you see her carrying now, and attempts to defeat Reimu once again, this time with, quote-unquote, magic stronger than everything. Regardless of this going all out, however, Reimu still handled her with ease, and the humbled Alice said she would never try that again. It's safe to assume then that that grimoire hasn't been opened, and she hasn't fought with her full strength ever since. Why are we talking about Reimu when Marisa is being played as? Because I hate Malice! I hate it with all my soul! No, I'm kidding. The real reason is because I didn't want to miss the chance to discuss Alice's origins, and connect it with the events of Perfect Cherry Blossom. She even says to the Shrine Maiden before the fight, "At last, my old friend, we meet again." This is definitely the same Alice from Makai, no doubt about it, but why is she living in the Forest of Magic? Nothing's for certain yet, apart from the different wardrobe and the grimoire still being closed, but the fans were all over this mystery, trying their hardest to solve this, figure that out, and concoct these theories for why or how she left a potentially happy life in Makai for a mostly solitary life in one of the most dangerous forests known in Gensokyo. From that and more, I suppose, Alice has gained a lot of empathy from the fanbase, regardless of whether she'd want it or not. I can't imagine she would anyway. I still feel terrible for her, though. 0-3 is just the worst way to go out for a blonde, blue-eyed cutie, but we'll comfort her later, I guess. We still got a spring to find, and that takes precedence. And they say the third time's the charm.